From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, February the 25th, 2019. We open with continued concern and criticism over a political move made last week by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ahead of the April 9th general elections in Israel. As we reported to you after the partnership announced between Benny Gantz and Yair Lapid forming a strong centrist party last week, Netanyahu, in an effort to strengthen Israel's right, urged the Jewish Home Party to merge with the extremist Otzma Yehudit Party, which could see at least one lawmaker from that group enter the Knesset if the prime minister is reelected. Otzma is led by students of the late Rabbi Meir Kahane of the Kach Party, which was outlawed from the Knesset over its incitement to violence. The Times of Israel reports that Executive Vice Chairman of the Conference of Presidents of Major American Jewish Organizations, Malcolm Hoenlein, who is visiting Israel, said in an interview that the move by Netanyahu was disturbing to many American Jews and that he was concerned. He said of Netanyahu, he obviously has some political calculation that drove him to it, but politics can't dictate everything. The American Jewish Committee said that while they do not normally comment on political parties and candidates during an election, they felt compelled to speak out in this case, writing, "The views of Otzma Yehudit are reprehensible. They do not reflect the core values that are the very foundation of the State of Israel." And on Friday, pro-Israel lobby AIPAC, who also stays out of Israeli politics, retweeted the AJC's statement, writing, "We agree with AJC." AIPAC has a long-standing policy not to meet with members of this racist and reprehensible party. White House Special Advisor Jared Kushner offered a bit more insight into the highly anticipated U.S. peace plan. Kushner told an interview with Sky News Arabic that the plan will focus on the, quote, redrawing of boundaries and resolving final status issues. He said the U.S. wanted to see the Palestinians united under one leadership and that the U.S. plan will have a broad economic impact, not only on Israel and the Palestinians, but on the entire region as well. The plan is expected sometime after the Israeli elections. The Times of Israel noted that Kushner's comments were overlaid with an Arabic translation and that his original English language quotes were not immediately available. Great Britain initiated action today that would designate Hezbollah as a terror group. UK Home Secretary Saeed Javid said that Hezbollah is continuing in its attempts to destabilize the fragile situation in the Middle East, and we are no longer able to distinguish between their already banned military wing and the political party. Because of this, Javid said, "I have taken the decision to proscribe the group in its entirety." Most recently, Hezbollah dug a number of terror tunnels infiltrating Israel from Lebanon, which the IDF identified and neutralized. Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, welcomed the decision by the UK and said he would continue to lead the fight to have Hezbollah recognized as a terror organization by the Security Council and recruit the international community against a group that is an arm for Iran's aggression. CEO of the American Jewish Committee, David Harris, said the British government's action exposes the falsehood of two branches of Hezbollah. He urged all European governments to follow in the UK's footsteps. The Anti-Defamation League echoed the call for a full ban of Hezbollah and said that the UK's step was long overdue. The order has to receive final approval from the British Parliament before it goes into effect March the 1st. The New York Police Department's Hate Crimes Task Force is investigating hateful graffiti found on the playground of an elementary school in Queens. Swastikas and Nazi symbols were drawn on the pavement of the playground at PS 139 in Rego Park. Well, a special ceremony was held yesterday at a memorial in Israel for the victims of the Tree of Life shooting in Pittsburgh last year. Pittsburgh Mayor Bill Peduto was on hand visiting Israel as part of the 33rd International Mayors Conference. He planted an olive tree next to a memorial plaque at the 9/11 Living Memorial Plaza in Jerusalem, established by the Jewish National Fund USA and Karen Kayemet LeYisrael Jewish National Fund. The CEO of JNF USA, Russell Robinson, said at the event yesterday that JNF USA is the voice linking America and Israel. We know that when tragedy befalls either of our communities, we stand together to strengthen one another. We are proud to represent the Pittsburgh community in Israel as an enduring reminder of this unshakable bond. And Israeli filmmaker Guy Nativ won an Oscar last night for Best Live-Action Short for his film Skin. Nativ spoke in his acceptance speech of his move from Israel to Los Angeles 5 years ago and of his grandparents being Holocaust survivors. He said the bigotry that they experienced in the Holocaust, we see that everywhere today in America and Europe. This film, he said, is about education, about teaching your kids a better way. Skin's plot deals with racial hatred. Israel's President Reuven Rivlin congratulated the film's team and said of Skin, it is a gift for our children and grandchildren and for the future that we want for them so they can fulfill their dreams. A feature-length version of Skin is due out in theaters in the U.S. this summer. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Monday, February the 25th. At 7 o'clock, it's a tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. by the Israeli Consulate of New York, the Jewish Community Relations Council of New York, and the UJA Federation of New York, with Israeli Consul General Dani Dayan, New York Attorney General Letitia James, and honoring New York State Senator Andrea Stewart Cousins. At 8 o'clock, former UK Chief Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks speaks with author Tal Kainan about the Jewish future in America and Israel. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with JCC Director Joy Levitt on L'chaim. At 10, comic creator Neil Gaiman speaks at the 92nd Street Y. And coming up right after this newscast tonight, a look at Israeli innovations. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, February the 25th, 2019. I'm Teisha Bader.